welcome to Identities Conversations, where we talk about everything that's important in our life: entertainment, social, economic, and political issues. And in this session, we are going to talk about to ZIMCODD. So this session is brought to us by ZIMCODD, and we're going to talk about public finance management. Public finance management. It's an important issue. A lot of us have been engaging in issues, the politics issues, the accountability, the governance, Facebook. So today we're going to talk about that important issue, and I am joined here by an esteemed panel to discuss this issue. To my left is Honorable Mhona. Honorable Mhona, welcome.
Welcome, Nyari.
Thank you. So Honorable Mhona is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Budget, Finance and Economic Development at the Parliament of Zimbabwe. And then I'm also joined by Madam Tendai Bobo. Madam, welcome.
Thank you, Nyari.
Right. Madam Tendai is the Campaigns and Advocacy Officer at the ZIMCODD. Again, ZIMCODD is the one that's bringing us this conversation today. Do you want to tell us about ZIMCODD briefly?
I would say ZIMCODD is a coalition of like-minded organizations that are fighting for social and economic justice, both locally, like to say in Zimbabwe, and also regionally as well as internationally.
I'm currently fighting. Right.
There are a lot of injustices that are happening at the grassroots, especially amongst marginalized groups of our communities who do not have their voice to be heard out there. So we say, let's come together, we mobilize those people to form a social movement. That's the coalition. It's a social movement of like-minded organizations and people and activists to say, how do we advocate and lobby for our issues to make sure that there is justice in our society.
Basics. I think that's why you are here. You are talking about the issues of marginalization. Who is marginal? I'll come back to you. I want you to really just unpack for us, also in the context of public finance management. Honorable, massive groups are fighting. Are you being fought?
No, thank you very much, Nyari. I don't think it's the real fighting.
Okay.
But he's trying to conscientize the citizens of their rights is enshrined in the Supreme Constitution. So I think it's more to do with the awareness programs that they must engage. But however, you have problem child everywhere. So it seems if they're able to stick to their core business of educating the masses of Zimbabwe, I think that's a wonderful job.
I also want to say, is it just educating or demanding? Because educating is probably one bit of raising awareness, but then there is the issue of lobbying. That's probably that's why we said Madam is an advocacy officer advocating to you, members of Parliament. So part of maybe that fighting is in the context of coming to Honorable Mhona, or maybe it's the people who are now saying, Honorable Mhona, so I mean, how do you take that?
I think to a certain extent, because it's mandatory that is the citizens that in various sectors. For instance, you can say shelter, right to clean water. So those are under fundamental rights which we might not compromise as a nation. So I think the advocacy part of it plays a crucial role.
That's so true, and I think when we're fighting for the rights to water, to what, do you know, if it's Honorable Mhona, can I sustain a bond? But I like the statement that I was going to say is there's also amongst us the civil society that say, we died. For instance, we said we died for the Constitution. So dying not literally the dying, but as in like we sweated.
We invested so much effort. Yeah, I think that's the fight. So you don't sit down and say, water will be brought to my doorstep. You have to do something to make sure. We are fighting for this life. We are drinking water. If you don't drink water, So you have to fight for everything to gain. You have to do something. You have to invest that effort.
So I like it when colleagues say we fought for the constitution, we died for it. And so I really like that, because we are also building from those who went before us, that those ones who I think they're different stages of dying and fighting for something. So for instance, Zimbabwe was fought for and it was died for, but in the literal sense, the shedding of the blood, but it was also giving us the fundamental base for us to then come and die for our rights, to say yes, we died for the practical kuzvitonga, but now takuita die for the delivery of that service. So I think we are privileged to then have a base where we're saying, okay, makati po izvi takuchiti chisvika ipachidano ichi, saka we died for it. So Madam Bob, I really want us for you to unpack for us to say, okay, when we are saying what are some of the concepts around public finance management, public finance management.
Okay, if we're saying public finance management, public, it just means us. It's the people, it's the citizens. Then finance, we are talking of money, the wealth that we have, the money that we have as a country. And management, how are we using that money that we have as a nation? And also to say, maybe, I hope I'm not going ahead of you.
Have fun.
But to say this money we're saying public, it's because it's coming from what? From the people. It's not like the government generates the money, then it shares amongst its citizens. But the government does not have any way to get the money if the citizens and whoever resides within Zimbabwe is not what? Is not contributing to the pace.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
saka kuti imari dzedu dzatinocontributa sei ku-government finance.
The government gets its finances from taxes, from fees.
Saka vana income tax.
Exactly. From taxes zvakafanana na value added tax. Iya yekuti munhu ukatenga kana okay unoona receipt yako kuzasuku. Yakanyorwa kuti 15% vachitokudza kuti tatora mari yakati. Saka by default each and every citizen pays tax. Anditika ende tine ma-excise duty, mari dziya dzinobhadharwa pazvinhu zviya zvazvinenge zvichinzi izvoni government iri kuda kucontrola kuti pasana excessive consumption of some goods zvakafanana nafodya, because it's harmful to you. So the government has to do something to regulate consumption of those goods. We've got vana import duty, kuti zvinobva kunze uko tinoisawo duty. Then we've got zvinana carbon tax. We've got company tax. And we've got pay as you earn. Those are the revenue heads which we are talking about when we are telling the tax. But also government can borrow to finance what services and also invest the money and taxes that are paid into businesses. Like that's why I'm saying that the government in their minds, like our government has got shares. We, the Zimbabwean citizens, we've got shares in one company. So those are some of the sources where the government gets finances from the people. Those are public finances. Just being public, it means it's our money.
Right. Honorable, kunzoti mumakapti batira chikwama chedu, chikwama chedu chine madhora edu. To what extent do you allow us as citizens to have a say over chikwama chedu? Because tatotsetsemerwa kana zvichinzi mari yegovernment imari dzedu, mari dzematax. Kana muri kunobhorowa you're borrowing on our behalf. Zvichinga zvakadaro zvitonzwa kuti kuri kunzi kune tinogoneta mashare ownership kuma-companies. Asi imari dziri kubva dzedu. To what extent do we really know as citizens? To what extent do you allow us and include us in the processes?
Thank you very much, Nyari. That's a very pivotal or pertinent question that you've just posed. Regarding the involvement of the masses of Zimbabwe, it starts from the policy formulation to say whatever policy, government policy, it has to come from the people. So in terms of how you then spend, was like what Tendai is just saying now, the moment you have money in the purse, in terms of the distribution, it has to involve the masses of Zimbabwe. So it calls for the issue of transparency and accountability. By being transparent, it means you are being frank to say this is what we are going to use the money for, and being accountable to the people that have contributed that money into this. So in terms of the masses of Zimbabwe, the constitution is very clear to say whatever we like. For instance, section 141, it says before we do any policy, we must approach the people, get their views, and consolidate the views, and then come up with a policy. So at the end of the day, whatever we collect as a nation, we are not the owners, like what Tendai rightfully says, that the money belongs to the people. So in the involvement, it comes back to the people of Zimbabwe to know their rights. And that advocacy then comes into effect to say, if they are not advised of their rights, they might think, no, we made by a man, but we made gets the money from the people, like you say, through taxation, we've got royalties, a number of sources that we get money from. But at the end of the day, the people have to contribute to the policies of the nation. So that's how people are involved.
You touched on a couple of things, Honorable. Thank you for that explanation. You mentioned the issue of how the policies at the beginning, you said the policies must come from the people. Honorable, I need to put you on the spot right now. Tonight, the unpopular or the popular. Yes, I want 144 years in dollar. 142, exactly. I want to talk about the 142 years in dollar. So you just triggered me because I thank God I'm here sitting and asking on behalf of the nation. Kuti muri kuti tiudza isu zvekuti amapolicies lawa we have to be part of it. We input or we have to be part of them. But many policies tinongomukati karohwa nawo takaimposerwa nyaya yeSI 42 ikai takangonga katonzi ZIMCODD kwacha. And so for me, what really bothers me, and just privileged to ask this question on behalf of my citizens, is do we really walk the talk, or we just have a constitution there that we feel good about, and then suddenly we turn around and then just because a lot of policies in this country, police involvement yedu vanhu vakaramba bond note. 2016 people refused the bond note until 2013 but we were imposed on the bond note. Vamangudya vakati bond note tikatadza ndichadzika pachika havana kudzika varipo. And tine SI 142 sorry. SI 142 yatakangomukati nayo vamutuli last week takangonzipa nayo imimi contrary to what you members of parliament that we appoint kuti mutitse basa muchitudza kuti muno respect the constitution munoti chinazvo.
Tinotenda Nyari, maybe it gives me the opportune time to explain. I'm sure Tendai touched on who is in.
And the beauty is please, by all means, take all the time you need to explain to us citizens, because we want that explanation.
So I think it is very important to say who is Parliament and what role do we play. Because as a nation, we've got what we call arms of states. And these are three arms of state, which involves the Parliament. We've got the Parliament does the lawmaking. We've got the judiciary, which does the interpretation of laws. And we've got the executive, which does formulate policies. And then it enforces the law, which is the executive. So at the end of the day, just to revert to the issue of SI 142, the president has got the powers. The president is part of the Parliament, is also part of the executive. And he has got the powers, what we call temporary presidential powers, to declare. And when it comes to the issue of money, it's a very sensitive area, where you might not need to give notice to say, in 2-3 months I'm going to bring what you won't be using on ZIMCODD. Yes, you can preempt to say that's the trajectory we are taking. But in terms of the implementation, so how the SIs operate, when there is an announcement of a statutory instrument, it lives for 6 months. And after 6 months, if it's not approved by Parliament, it doesn't become.
So we are we're in kind of a temporary.
Yes, it's a temporary.
Do we even know about this?
So it's a temporary measure, which then needs to be ratified by Parliament. So at the end of the day, that statutory instrument is there, yes, And if you followed the role that we play as a budget committee, this Monday with the Minister of Finance, with the PEMSEC, with the Governor of Zimbabwe, before portfolio committee, to answer to some of these, because we are not just creating questions from ourselves, but we've got the mandate from the
citizens.
people, yes, to say what is the implication, what does this mean. So I'm glad to say the Minister was there, the Governor was there, the PEMSEC was there, and they explained the benefits. And truly, in any nation, you still need to use your own currency. Yes, it might be painful for now, but this is what we then want to hear from the minister to say, we are Parliament, we want accountability, and we want you to explain.
You're free to jump in and ask questions, by the way, because we are representing the people.
We want you to, we want you to explain to the masses of Zimbabwe. So as Parliament, we are not saying, no, we are clapping hands for the minister. No, we are saying the minister, we have got questions, we've got $1 Now there are people who are going in the rural area saying, Marinya Absundisa, Marinya chatting.
And is it also, I just want to come in before I forget this point. Unosungwa. To explain what this is a temporary measure. What powers does that temporary measure to have for them to illegal tender guy? It was legal, and then you just wake up, pop up one day. What happens to my contract? What we were planning our lives not in the moment, but in the focus of we have to have dignified lives where we are able to plan ahead for our lives, for our businesses.
Yeah, on that one, Nyari, it's not about Kusungisa as such. Those contracts that were done before the 24th of June, we actually asked the same question to the government. Says those are still binding. And it's not Kusungisa, but the Kusungisa comes in the event that you then want to trade using the multi-currency basket. But if you've got your US dollars, no problem. You can go to a bureau de change, you can go to a bank and change and then get your ZIM dollars and then transact using the ZIM dollars. But there is no one who would say win a man. But there comes a problem where you go into the streets and start trading in foreign currency. Then that's criminal.
Did you have something to follow up on?
Yes, I wanted to say, I heard that you said the president of Zimbabwe, he is part of the legislature and also is part of the executive. Isn't there conflict of interest there? To say, let's say the executive has formed a policy, has formulated a policy, and they give it to Parliament to say, how do you see this? Is it possible? How free are you as Parliament to say, no, we do not want to ratify this law? It's not, people don't want this. How free are you to do that? He's here, he comes with the same thing, he's there. How do you see that? And
also just adding on to that to say, I know you're from a certain political party, probably aligned to the president. To what extent are you really in her, or just building from her question to say, how free is the members of Parliament say, actually, let's push out. To not build a from Yema bond, I can make 2016. In Mimi Mozo, we are not okay, Panama executive, temporary executive powers that my impose watching. It's also my citizens to push it out. Even members of Parliament, you've got an obligation mandate, you put in mirror, to what extent in a question?
Yeah, maybe section 116, I can just read it. The legislature of Zimbabwe consists of Parliament and the President, acting in accordance with Chapter 6. So what we are saying here is, whenever there are bills, they come before Parliament, any law, but there is what we call the assent. It has to be signed by the President. Okay. So the President is part of the lawmaking, because after coming up with bills, it now needs the signature of the President. So it's part of no. So it's part of the system, because it's part of the legislation. Not necessarily that when we are debating in the House, no. The President.
But I have an example, Honorable, of the assumption, data assumption. The people, most people, I think more than 50% of the people were saying no. But the few who were saying yes, then when it went into, even the report by there was I forgot the name, David Chafika, the report which he made about that, from what came from the consultative meetings about that bill, he said people were saying no, but at the end of the day, it was silent. So I don't understand those two things. My question is, are citizens' interests fully or fairly represented?
I can say to the affirmation, yes. Because you still have your constitution like what you have. If they know their rights, under section 149, they can petition Parliament if they are not happy regarding any matter. So at the end of the day, if we don't have anyone petitioning Parliament, because as soon as Parliament gets the petition, it is referred to the relevant portfolio committee to take into action. So at the end of the day, people just complain to say, it's just for instance, someone say, I am honorable members, this is just views from the people. But is it really what is happening? It's not correct. So at the end of the day, we have people who are just complaining, say, I know a number said, it's costume. But the essence of that bill was to, so that you leverage, you take that burden, so that you resuscitate the operations.
No, I think, sorry, Honorable, I just want to also emphasize the question. The intentions, I think the question really is on the issue of accountability and flying by what people want. It's one thing for the government of Zimbabwe to know this is good and then push for it. Well, it's one thing for the government of Zimbabwe to know that this is good. We would wish for our people, for us to have this. Even what the constitution you have to go to the people. And then when you go to the people, what she's saying, when you come to us, 80% of us are saying no to something. To what extent are you really listening to us? You know the intentions, maybe you didn't do your job in making us buy into your thing. But there is a sense that even if we say no, if maybe 5% of us or 10% agree, you are taking the 5% and you're interested in pushing a bill and disregarding the 80 or 90% who are against that. And again, it comes back to SI 142 to what extent are people being heard in this country pertaining their issues?
Yeah, you are right to say that the views of the people must be respected. And I'm okay. But what we are saying is the problem of acclamation, to say how many people like in this room to say, maybe the one with the loudest voice can say, no, and then you think that everyone is saying. Because these bills, they come to Parliament and we debate as honorable members. So at the end of the day, if it then comes before the House, we then consolidate the views. But however, I might find that in a certain city, you might have those who are for, saying, and if you go to a certain area, others are saying. But for instance, the ZISCO, they were very happy to say, no, maybe that's when we are going to be paid our outstanding wages. But Redcliffe, Kwekwe, and what, those areas, they were the direct beneficiaries of this. But if you then go outside that framework, you find people who are saying, no, government is just eating money. But the real beneficiaries of that might say, no, this is the noble thing to do. So at the end of the day, it's about where are these views coming. And at the end of the day, the advocate is part of it. Can just come say, no, government is putting money. And it's also its Parliament. This is what we do now. Yeah, we need empirical to say, what are the facts? If that's when we call for the minister to appear before a relevant committee. And the 142 went to move with speed as a committee to say, these are the implications coming from the people. How are you going to address? So it gives the minister the ample time to explain policy issues so that we interrogate on the policy issues. Not necessarily to say, 142 and 1 but if you go out there in the street, if you conduct that evidence, if you get it from the people and do that survey, you find that those who are for maybe saying now we are enjoying both prices are coming down. It's an example. But it's not my duty to say in Parliament, even if one is giving what I update, to say no, I'm agreeing with the minister, because I carry the mandate of the people. So what I'll be saying, I'll just be a mouthpiece to say this is coming from the constituents. And others are happy, others are not happy. So they want to
Honorable Kuti, Mataura, it's a process. I know the education bill, we had the similar process, and the committee from the education bill did pretty much the same. Maybe what us, you guys as my advocacy group, as ZIMCODD, may want to strengthen through the constitutional process is when the members of parliament are moving around pertaining a bill, how do we record, how do we keep, you see what is happening, wakaenda pachikomba, vanhu pachikomba in the same room, tiri mu same room makadaiso, vanhu vakabvunza kuti munoda here SI 142 yekuti tive nezimdola. One person could be the loudest, like you say. The majority of us who are not quiet. How do we ensure that parliament, papakuita hearings are, we capture all voices to an extent that then that can be monitored in as far as counting what people are saying is concerned, to say how many were for, how many were against. When the parliament is moving around the country asking or making, do they make people vote so that there is clarity? Because zvazvirikuitika kuona kwavo vanongosvika muone room kana kuti mugweru voti tauya tafambira nyaya yebill yeeducation bill, toda kutaura nyaya yemapregnant girls, vangani vanoti mapregnant vangoti hatuna kuzoti munodei, vakaona kuti isura kuti vasikana vedu vakaita nhumbu vabude muchikoro, vamwe voti isura kuti vagaremo. Hapana mechanism yekuti vakati vangani vakati kwete vangani. So members of parliament, then you give them the leeway to say ivo zvavanoda honorable Mhona ndozvavachatopusha, and you have no way of monitoring him. So I think that is an opportunity for constitutional lobbying, to say in that section in order parliament move around, maybe you need to strengthen in terms of accountability, to say how do you monitor the actual results. What were the issues number 1, 2, 3 were the issues, what were discussed number 1, 2, 3, how methodology for the members of parliament. I think that is what we're seeing, because what is there is open to manipulation. And also in Minimum NGOs also, I think you may come in and say, it's so about it saying SI 142 muda kuchinja kunzoko saka iwo unenge uda zvipande zvokuti handikanokuchinja kushanda topinda saka muchapusha pamwe ndimi the loudest noise yekudi yekupusha, and yet the masses are saying tikuda $0. So I think in both cases there may be need for, anyway, but I wanted to come to you but I think these are opportunities for sure. And thank you very much, Honorable, for explaining. But I'll come back to you because I'm also concerned about temporary powers, the president. I'll come back, but I want to come to you, Tendai, and say, so what are the opportunities for citizens right now for participation in public finance, as we've just had my definitions of the matter?
Okay, Nyari, maybe before we go there, I wanted to throw something.
Yes.
To say, I heard Honorable saying, maybe during these consultative meetings, if a bill is ratified and people are not happy, they have an opportunity. An opportunity is there to write a petition. But who is, when the constitution came, who had the mandate to go out to the people and raise awareness? Even to date, who has got the mandate? We know that civil society is there, they are doing their best, but who, you as parliament or the government, within the government departments, toda kuna tuhumende weno titrache, because the demand donor guys, imali zekure uko, kupa resources edu enyika isusu as Zimbabwe. Takaboisa constitution nerongo ripepa rakadai, it's meaningless. Kana tisina kuto mari yatiri kuunganidza ema-taxes evanhuka ipa empower, because we are relying mari dziri kubva kuna no agent church nekubva kuna nani. Why are we not saying ma resources edu atinawo iwayo aepawo vanhu vedu kuti vazive zviri muconstitution apa, because nyanya kudzwa kuti civil society is not doing enough, advocacy and awareness, what. Who is supposed to, amongst the government?
I think I cannot say civil society is not doing enough, because even this platform is through civil society. So I must acknowledge that we are doing something. And at the end of the day, in terms of awareness, like right now, the issue of translating the constitution into the vernacular languages. We've got the 16 recognized languages in the constitution. So the government is busy trying to translate those into the languages so that people understand. Because that's the other area where you go to Chikomba when a constitution in English. Even if the citizens have got their rights, they don't know it. Because they cannot articulate issues in this. But if they are put in their mother language, then they can appreciate better. So I think it's a joint, it's a holistic approach where the civil society is coming from another angle, and then the government is also playing its part. So I think at the end of the day, in terms of budget, we don't have the resources. So in terms of the support that we get from civil society, we appreciate. But the question is, when we then do the consultations, we rarely see the presence of civil society. Because people just come maybe in a house, you get 50 or so. But in terms of lobbying and advising the masses what to say in those, or not really what to say, but how they can contribute, it's a missing link. So at the end of the day, we want to say when there is a bill, take the relevant. It's unfortunate that each society organization has got its particular mandate. So if it is without, if it's outside the framework of their mandate, they might not support. So at the end of the day, it's up to the civil society organization to say whenever the bills come through. And I like the suggestion that you've just profiled, Nyari, to say let's have the numbers. To say these are who are for and who are against, so that when we consolidate our report, but even if when we sit as a committee, we just say, I know in Chego 2 Comba people were just, but we're not really having the numbers. So the idea of saying numbers, you say who, so that at the end of the day we can then consolidate. So it's something that has to be implemented. To say, and with your support of civil society, I think you've got the pace as well. So these are some
sometimes
of the programs,
it's not always. Sometimes,
these are some of the programs that you can have advocates on.
Okay, then on the issue of SIE 142, I wanted to say each and every country which is sovereign, they just want their own what? Their own money, their own currency. But my issue here is to say one of the critical characteristics of money is acceptance. By what? By the people who use the money. We are not saying no, we don't need what, we don't need US. We want our ZIM what? Our ZIM dollar. But the timing, was the timing right? Because you know what's going to happen. First, and people, nyaya kuti zvoni participation yevanhu panga pasitomborina, the misinformed anditika vachava reactionary anditika, and what they are going to do honorable zvichaita compromise, I mean ma supporting instruments esamuri kuti SIE 142 idini inge ichishanda, ndo pane flow yekutanga ipapo. What are we doing right now? Maybe what is the government doing? Anditika kunoudza vanhu vari kumusha uko, because ukatoenda kumusha uko ndakatomboudziwa nezuro kuti zvoni mari dziya dzayamba nje andi muri kunzwa hanzi ndo zviri kunzwa uko zviri kutaura hanzi dzamba nje mari haichatoda kuonekwa munhu unayo, asi ngatoshandisa imwe munhu chiti aiwa kana vanhu vava nemacontracts avo akari in US, you can continue what? Kuroti vanhu havana information yakakwana. Toenda panumber 2 anditika, why is it that because as long as US dollar, the statutory instrument yakanyorwa pamusoro pai kuti $2 US dollars, are we not conflicting ourselves? Tiri kuda kuencourage kushandiswa kwe US dollar, but the statutory instrument kutoitengesa ne2 US dollars anditika, as long as pane string attached to the US dollar, which is a reserve currency against the Zimbabwean dollar anditika, obviously the bad money chadini icharamba ichitongodzinga the good money, and icharamba ichichesa US dollar yakaramba ichingomopewa from our economy, and the black market haibvi. Saka zvandati chifunga inini zvokuti zvoni at the shortest term kana kuti immediate term zvatingaita anditika, of course instrument yacho akoro maviews angu anditika, why don't we temporary maybe why don't we put the rand kungoti zvoni, not joining the rand monetary economy, kungotoshandisa kungotova more that kungoshandisa rand anditika the way yatinokushandisa US nayo zvine mabenefits akawanda anditika, for mbombera yevanhu vari pagrassroots vari kutambura mavhaenda anditinoona black market ndichabva yabva ndo number 1 result yoyo, because vele hakuna munhu anozomboswera enda kublack market, because kana ndikatengesa madomasa ndopuwa 5 rand ndodidi, kana ndoda kuenda paSouth Africa kunotenga ndongonohodha zvo zvakunechi nerand. Asi kuti kune mabig wigs Nyari anonzi hamenoti ndomati machii mabusiness anditika, ane mainterest au ari very strong anditika kunyadze US uko anditika, We once had a meeting near RBZ. We wanted to run as the economy, but takatopo ma lawsuits 5 kuti mukangodaroka tinokusuwa vanhu vaRBZ. Because it's
we can then understand you see hands kuti nyika inokuranwa nemakatho vatodibatsira because so at the end of the day members of parliament you have to be answerable to us members of parliament. SI 142 guys, I think you owe it to the people who put you in power to really listen to people. I think there is a perennial lack of listening to the citizens. From the government point of view, people refused the bond note 2016. Should put the one name back cartel. It's just a true or not is made. Cartel. Jamaica Jano, Borane Ratamba, Makatori, we are also more in Miracle. Navam to SI 142, whose interest is SI 142 and any other instrument is 7. And I think there's a general, because I think we take these conversations as part of lobbying and giving you feedback to say, my citizens can't move longer. It's Mongo Nora Bastemba, but sister can say, I'm a about don't be saying. However, in a downward comment on when you're talking about the issues of money, they are sensitive. Sometimes they need speed, and also you allow the cartels to terrorize the nation. So sometimes we get to wonder. So I think it just tells us that things are not well. If the whole government does not trust its own system to say, if we give people a month's notice to say by the 1st of Chakati Marenge in India, it means that this government is also foreseeing things that it's trying to read. I know you may not be in that, but you are the chairperson of this committee. You need to answer us. You put you in this hot seat to be answerable. But my time is better. But in the next 5 minutes, Honorable and Tendai, I want you to put out there the issues that we need. We want to come back and center on the issues of public finance. Honorable, there is a general feeling that and also there is a system that Tendai out of this will actually send you a report to say we've actually seen that there's an opportunity for you guys to push around this tightening screws the procedure in the parliament for number 1, and then number 2, the issue at hand where it was another opportunity for me to Tendai. This is a temporary thing, and to hold our members of, I know if viewers are listening, we've got a chance to hold the members of parliament accountable to say SI 142. Since each is temporary, what are the powers? And I think also Tendai brings out a very important point about government has information. There are a lot of misconceptions. And so if you impose this SI 142 to us, have you done enough giving us information? Nikuti Jakamira 1, 2, 3 kwenda paka radio, SA national radio stations, community radio stations, go splash amam. Vaitere vamtulika vango impose chichikora ko 010. I'll give you one opportunity each to respond. And
maybe let me start by saying, let me clarify issues. I gave you the issue separation of powers. To say parliament in Umhlobo. So the danger here, it will be like, I don't want to be like an official from the Minister of Finance.
But you're the oversight.
Yes. So that I will try to defend the minister from this perspective. So then I will confuse people because that's not parliament. Parliament does oversight.
Yes.
So oversight, these are the questions. And I'm glad to say, if you can follow up our Monday meeting that we had, the exact questions that you were posing were the questions that we were posing to the minister. So that the minister answers to say, what are you doing in terms of awareness? And people are afraid to marry away. So at the end of the day, if I sit here and start defending, to say, Minister, but we posed the questions and he responded. And by responding, I'm glad to say the answers were satisfactory in the sense that Papa Singa they are saying now RBZ after my teams are going out for awareness. So that one Marizao. And this is the role of parliament. So that in which oversight and make that awareness program which is through the committee business. So at the end of the day, as a committee, basa redu kana totodaro tatoita because hatiri kubvunza zviri kuendana zviri kunetsa vanhu about the instrument. And the temporary essence yatotaura ndeyekuti within the we also have the platform to debate in the house and then say it's now law. As it is the station, it's law. But we are saying if it stays for more than 6 months, it's in a ratification in Parliament, then it falls out. So at the end of the day, we are saying as Parliament, and the exact questions, because I can take you from just give me those views. Many of my views, why do I don't talk with an Parliament? And this is the role of Parliament. And it's also, we then have to summon the relevant minister could address those issues. So to us, committee then I'll say, no, Tendai Nyari. But we have to write to the minister urgently. And the minister will show ambassador around, but he came on Monday. Anyway, 4 hours to pose questions. And if you can play that in a clip, you see the questions that they were also posed to the minister and also gave them the chance to explain the policy issues. Unfortunately, we cannot do the policy formulation and then the lawmaking as Parliament. We also have to wait for the policies from government and then we interrogate those policies. So in terms of the Parliament,
and just to throw out the honourable for, because these are going to be serious. We are very lucky, we are very happy as Identities Conversations that through ZIMCODD we're going to talk a lot and unpack a lot of public finance over the next few weeks. By the way, this is an extension of our episode on TV. We spoke about public finance management on ZTV on our program Identities Umhlobo. So we are just, this is a follow-up and continuation, polishing up what we didn't understand. And if you have questions, please come post them, because next week some of these guys or some other guys will be here to to unpack these issues. But Honorable, I want you to go and ponder, and it will make you come back maybe next week. There is a general feeling that yes, we realize that these are just temporary measures, but it feels like the government, whether it's the president's office or the president and whatever portfolio ministries, rather my ministries, are things that the government feels are more important to them. So it's no longer, it's not really about. So for instance, while we are happy about the education bill that we were leading, that is coming out, but a lot of issues that we've been crying about since 2013, really slow. So take it as a comment from the citizens, from people to say, whatever, now. But government has to show the same effort in my alignments, my child marriages, it's 20 years, but it's unfair. And I think as citizens we need to be heard, and to the same agents we appreciate, but we don't want to push to just be an economy without human rights, without the rights of people. So I think this is I also work in civil society. This is the feedback that we also receive. Also on Identities, we get a lot of feedback from the citizens themselves. And these are some of the sentiments to say, but I'll give my sister 2 minutes to wrap up. Do you want to finish, or you want to comment quickly? Or in 30 seconds, because maybe this is assignment, but I would want for you to just maybe go and think about it, and maybe when you come back, you may also begin from there next week. I know my team is
maybe quickly on that one. I think beginning of each session in Parliament is 5 month session, so we're just finishing our first session. The president will
when is the next session?
Starting September.
Okay.
So whenever we've got that will be the second session. Whenever we've got a session, the president comes to Parliament, State of the Nation address, and he lays the agenda of Parliament for that particular session. So in this session, we had about 29 bills. So I'm sure those child marriages, education bills, public finance management, alignment, these are the issues that we're assisting with Parliament now.
But zvekutora time zvenyu izvi zvema-SI zvinokurumbidza ndomusoro wenyaya muri kutaura izvo zvimatowa Jona Parliament mainda hapana chati chako pane nyaya ye-education bill handitika education bill vana 20 more than 30% of children out of school it's not urgent for you enough but nyaya dzemari dziri urgent ndozvega zvatongotaura honorable kuti zvinhu zvinobata vanhu ma-day to day edu tikufila kunge muri kumaisa kuma-peripherals mune 27 but makabudisa 1 yenyu tasingatoziva kuti limited but makaipusha ndomusoro wenyaya ayewa but inototitonga but never know something iri kutotitonga tiri kutotongwa nayo. No, we are not bothered about. It's not about the actual 142. It's about the issues that the government, push zvavanoda. Zvevanu sisimukuzvitaura macho. Nyaya dzevana vechikoro. It's been since more than a year. 2017 a campaign was launched. By now, hakusati bill kufamba but it's really slow. Zvamunoda imi munomhanyisa but my sister.
Okay, maybe just to sum up, to say people out there ngati mirei. Tinyatsonanganidza nyaya dzemari dzedu nokuti one of my principles scrutinize nokuti one of my principles public finance management andika hanzi mari inofana kushandiswa for national development anditika and tiri national development ipapa vari kutaura nyaya equitable distribution of what of my resources anditika ndipo saka vana
kuti tese tiri kuwana here kunodiwa kukuwana here mari zvakafana
according to our needs,
according to the needs,
yes kuti kana vane need yakati vane nhamo yakanyanya vayavai tutsiraiwo pamusoro asi vagara vanazvo munokombichana kwakadini
vanhu vakweequity kuenzana
kuti vanhu vasvike pakadini pakaenzana vatutsirwe mune zvinodini zvinomukwanira nditika asi ndaida kutaura ndichida kuya kunyaya devolution kuti devolution iri kuuya nditika chichauya saka ndaida ndiri ipapa nditika zvakatikoshera sema-citizens kuti ngatitotanga kudini at local level tinyatsonanganidza nyaya dzitite scrutinize handitika nokuti zvinhu zvepamusoro chemazvo zvinotinetsa kuzvisvikira izvi handitika saka ngatitange kunyatsoshandisa ma-strategies edu ekuparticipate in public finance management at local level so that successful strategies at local level handitika in demanding for transparency and accountability if they are successful then we will replicate those national to make sure there is effective public finance management. And also I wanted to say kana tanyaya public finance management constitution inodzoka zvakare yotaura kuti izvoni tinofana kutarirawo tinofana kupa special attention kuma marginalized groups of the community. Zvinorwadza kuti is it budget for 2018 Nyari there was money from the budget about 9 million which was not disbursed at all by the ministry yes social welfare. I mean not for whatever reason harmonized cash transfers ndo mari dzevaromboka idzi zvakabuda OAG's report yakareleaswa mwedzi unoda vanhu
vakasaka parliament eno andidi kutanga
vachiwanzwa nenzara kumari ranza haina kudisbursiwa honorable for some reason it was not disbursed deliberately kuti vanhu vawane kutenga sugar nekutenga chichi 9 million yakadzoserwa kutreasury.
We will probably, I don't know if we'll ever get because there was a minister, I think it should go in the 2017,
2018
or 2018. I don't know who the minister was then. It wasn't Kagonyi, I think. But anyway, citizens, it was great chatting. I'm really very excited and very grateful that it was a very engaged conversation, which we are continuing next week. So if you've got questions about public finance management, if you've got a question to Parliament, if you've got a question to ZIMCODD, who brought us this conversation, please reach out to us. We will be sure to read it in the next conversation. But Honorable Mhona, thank you for taking time to spend. And I think next week, so we are hoping to make him report. If you're available, we would be very happy to continue. Madam Tendai, thank you very much for spending it, for your passion. And again, very much grateful for ZIMCODD for bringing us this conversation. You like it, you share, you comment, send your question, reach out to us, and let's keep logged on. A lot of things are coming today. We will actually have another conversation. We're going to have an exciting conversation. So keep watching our Facebook page. Until next time, goodbye.